afternoon, good evening, and a good morning, wherever you're watching us from right about now. My name is Maki, Makky, girl on screen, and you're tuning to Gopadtv. We are live now on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all our hands. So I want you to be close. I mean, come close because we have something important to discuss to this edition of Smiling Through Widowhood. Is a program we do once every month with our beautiful guests who usually break down things discuss each day. And today we're discussing the expectation, the societal expectation and stigma as regards to widowhood. So you would like every bit of it. Before I introduce the people I have in the studio, have you even asked yourself what is stigmatization? I mean, stigma. And then what is expectation? What is expected of you as a widow? What is expected of you as someone who is mourning, who just lost somebody? You know, a lot of things have been expected of us, especially in a society like the one we are in today. Before I go into that, I would like you to meet the people I have in the studio. So, from my left, let me start from the lady in the studio. Let me start from my left. Um, Uju or Madam Uju, good afternoon. How are you? You're not looking any bad at all. Why?
Thanks
You're
to the
always
weather. The
looking.
weather is cool and calm.
Okay, you. Okay, so this is the weather now. Okay, I must say that you look awesome. I mean, you never been caught on fresh. So let me just don't go deep. And I have a young man, a man also in us today, Mr. Francis. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you? How is the weather?
Okay.
And is marvelous in our eyes.
Outside.
It's loves doing and it's marvelous in our sight. Okay, so let me take a quick look at what we have when we talk about societal expectation, what societal expectation is and what it means. It means a mourning behavior. Societal expectation of widows, especially. So I have something here I wrote down that says societal expectation and stigma regarding widows very vary significantly across cultures, religions, and historical periods. But there are some common themes that persist globally. These expectations and stigma often reflect patriarchal structures, traditional gender roles, and cultural attitude about death, marriage, female sexuality. And here are some of the things I have, which is societal expectation of widows, mourning behavior, extended mourning behavior. So a lot of things are expected of us. I have this mourning behavior. I have chastity and purity. People feel that's a time you need to be very, very pure. And a time you need to stay on your own. You don't need anything around. And then I have also submissiveness and withdrawal. So you either withdraw. In this case, you're withdrawing from a lot of things. I'm talking about what society expects you to do. You understand? They expect you to withdraw. They expect you to submit totally. So those are the things. Then caretaking and services. In some societies, widows are expected to devote themselves to the service of the family, especially in-laws and children, often without much personal agency. Then when we come to stigma faced by widows, I have blame and suspicion. In certain cultures, widows are blamed for their husband's death, accused of bad luck, or suspected of bringing misfortune. In extreme cases, they may be subjected to witchcraft accusation, especially in parts of sub-Saharan Africa and Africa, South Asia. So in different things now, we are now moving into the stigma that comes with being a widow. What's not just being a widow, but what the society, because we are now talking about what society wants from them, what they expect the person to do. Economic marginalization. I don't know how true this is. Widows are often suffer from inheritance discrimination, They may be denied property or access to their late husband's assets. In patriarchal societies, they may lack legal standing and financial independence, leading to poverty and exploitation. And I think this is where Healing Hearts comes in, where a lady, where a widow or widower is being deprived of things they're supposed to get when the husband dies. So they now come in, tell you that it can happen. Sexual exploitation, vulnerability may lead some widows to face sexual exploitation, including being coerced into relationships or subjected to harmful practices like widow cleansing, a ritual in some cultures where a widow is forced to have sex to purify herself. A lot of things are happening. We might not really go into all the things. I have modern shift and activism, a lot of other things, legal reforms in several cases, and what we need to do, and some NGOs also that you need to look out for when you encounter things like this. So the topic today says, again, dealing with societal expectation and stigma. And I just explained what expectation is and what stigma is, and some of the things that the society expects you to do when you lose someone, when your husband is no more, or maybe when your wife is no more. But I think it's more when it comes to the women. I think it's more when it comes to the women, because a man, the wife cannot die, you now come and be dragging property. His property is not possible. In fact, in some cases, when a woman dies, it's even the family members and society and everybody that will be telling you, I think you need to take another wife to take care of the kids. You're a man, you can't stay alone to avoid this and avoid that. But when it comes to women, sometimes reverse becomes the case. They don't want you to do this, they don't want you to do that, they don't want you to withdraw, they are dragging property and other things. So I have some questions today, and we want to dive into our beautiful question for today. And I'm going to start from Madam Uju. I'm going to start from you. Okay, you're going to answer some of my questions today, and we will kick it from there before I come to Mr. Francis, because before now, if you want to ask Mr. Francis some questions, before you even finish asking the question, you just tell you, no, I'm not a widower. So you know, exactly. So you know the question you are bringing to my table. I am not a widower. Ask me the one I can actually answer. So, Mr. Francis, I got you when it comes to that place now, okay? My first question to you, Madam, would you say is, widowhood often comes with painful labels and expectations. What were some of the societal judgment or stigma you personally encountered after your husband's death?
Thank you, Maki, for that definition, explanation, and all that. You took some weight off me.
Thank you. Okay, I'm glad I did that.
So you, in your definition, and you said it often comes from the society, community, and all that.
Yeah.
But I want to bring it down.
Okay.
To most times, the expectation, the stigma comes. I cannot say that there was a communal kind of expectation or stigma that was directly on me. Maybe because of the family that is involved.
Okay.
So I want to say that most times these things are from the family. The families are there. If you have a family that is solid, maybe because maybe my husband's family that are like civil, okay. You understand? So they even the community will not even dare to come to you and say you're supposed to do this. You already know what you're supposed to do. There is no, as far as I'm concerned, there is no format to grieving. So anybody that is forcing something on you, sometimes it's the family. Like Igbos will say, na okay no guankede outside. So maybe because of their personal interest, selfish interest, they will not invite the community to come and ginger this woman, make you understand, like destabilize you,
exactly,
maltreat you. So out of fear, you succumb to certain things. You understand? If anybody is grieving or you lose your spouse, you already know nobody will teach you how to mourn your husband or your wife. But families sometimes need to step up for this woman. So having said that, I will not say there is a particular experience I had from the community, because I just said the families were there to protect man. But maybe I'll share one or two experience, because like when we came back from shortly after I buried my husband, and we came back to place and all that. That was 13 years ago. And those days where the NEPA officials were still doing, if they want to disconnect you, they'll come and cut your wire roll and go back
And
to
go
their
back.
office. So that particular time, I think before we travel for the burial, the the it was due to pay for that month. Maybe those officials came around before we traveled, and immediately we came back, I paid for that month.
For that month, yeah.
So some of them then came to disconnect. And you know those days when you have there's no prepared meter there was no prepared meter, but you have like 2 days on, 1 day off.
1 day off.
So that day, or maybe that day you have on, is the day they will go and be
And
cutting
then
wires.
cut.
So
Exactly.
on such day, now one of those officials came to disconnect me. So I was inside. The next thing, because when you have light, it will be for the whole day. The light went off. I was like, what's happening? And I heard noise outside. I came to the balcony. The guy was still on that pole. And I said, sir, we have paid. And I just came back from school run, because I was still wearing my morning clothes. I was putting on. I said, we have paid. The man didn't even listen to me. Came down from the road, the cable. And because maybe a few months or a month before that time, we changed the cable. We used to, maybe when one street has light, we will not have. And they will not change cable in 5 mm, something solid.
Yeah,
so their
that's
target was that cable. So I came down, I was like, Oga, we have paid, though. You didn't even ask for. Said it last time he came here, we have not paid. I said, but we have paid. So his interest was to roll that cable and go to their office. Maybe by the time I come
They will
for
not
a
give you
connection, they will
something
not give
different.
me something different. But I followed them, because there is a service center that is closed. I went to their office and I met the manager. I was like, no, I want that my cable. And I've paid. Look at this thing that I've just paid. The man was like, why am I even, that I'm supposed to be inside the house? That is, look at me as younger. You can imagine my face 13 years ago. That will even give that man will bring out the human in him.
In him,
but
exactly.
Yes,
But then
he
chose to
he
be.
was like,
Just to be a different person.
young girl like you, your mouth is running. You white now. I know to know say that you killed your husband. I said, my dear, whether I killed or not, please, I need my
The cable, because
So maybe at that point, this man expected me not to speak up. He expected me not even to follow him to the office. I don't know. But I wanted to get that cable in particular. And I told the manager, I'm living here with that cable in particular. And I'm not paying any reconnection fee. I would say that was the first time or the first shock I got after the burial, because I wasn't expecting a human being to say something
like that.
And then I was like, okay, if I killed my husband, just be ready this night, because it will be your
you
turn.
also follow.
But I came back, I cried. You understand?
Yes,
Because this man, you offended me and you are bad-mouthing me. And I know that was a friend of mine. I think I've shared that story before. I went for a school run. My car broke down. The husband now met me with the keys. I already called the mechanic. The man now said, okay, since the mechanic is here, let him fix it. Let me drop him. The next thing, the wife called me, who is like a sister to me, and I said, hey, that she heard that my car broke down. I said, yes. He said, and the husband, I said, thank God, greet Oga for me. And said, why did I follow the husband? I should have called her. Say, are you in your office? Your husband was already picking your children. Why? So I don't understand the judgment and whatever she was feeling to say that on a normal, if I speak to the husband, it's even a privilege. You understand? So these are the kind of things that will make you to start feeling that, okay, this is no longer business as usual. You understand? There is no longer business as usual. So I've seen people that have gone through this kind of, even in the family that is supposed to protect them. That's where they have, because maybe, like I said, if they don't stop the community from attacking or hitting the lady, they are using the community just to get the woman scared. So she'll be vulnerable and maybe why she's crying and why she's trying to gather her strength, they are targeting those properties the eyes on. So it falls back on the family, and then falls back on the family of the man that died properly to like secure and protect the soul.
Whoa. Um, Mr. Francis, I know you have been like, wow. You know, people can actually be mean somehow because I don't know why a human being would say such word to you. And I know some widows are going through this.
Yeah, like I said, why I said that families are involved, I had an uncle that died sometime. I was too young then. The wife, I think they had the quarrel previous night. The wife got up the next day, didn't check on the man, and the man was kind of sick, but nobody was expecting him to die. So the woman got up the next morning, left the house, didn't check on the husband, and the man died. So by the time they discovered that he died, apparently the woman was still at home, but because he was angry, he didn't go to check up on the man and left. By the time they saw him, nothing could have been done at that point. So when during the burial, the woman that were ready for the,
Or her,
you understand, they were ready to just to deal with her. But my dad stepped in and said, that's why I talked about family.
yes.
Stepped in and said, no, I don't want such thing. If she intentionally did, let her conscience
Want
judge
to
her.
judge her.
Because even at that point, the woman is dealing with a lot.
Sad.
I don't believe that she did it intentionally, even when they were quarreling. She's dealing with a lot. She might be dealing with guilt at that point. She might be dealing that, okay, this man died while we were not,
We're quarreling.
we
We're
were
not
quarreling and all
speaking words
that.
to each other.
And you
We
now
didn't even
come
say goodbye.
and bring your
Nothing.
own hot charcoal on him.
And then,
So my dad stepped in and said, no, this will not happen. Because the community respects him, they did
Okay.
not do that. So that's why I said that the community might have their own way of going about it, but the family is the family's duty to protect them.
Okay, thank you so much. And of course, if you are listening, or rather, if you're following us on Facebook, you can always drop your own opinion. You can always drop, and you know, we have a fun here, a number that you can always call. You want to talk to us directly, you can reach us on the number that will be displayed on the screen right now, which is 08106859752. Okay, I guess the number 08106859752. Okay, just get the number on the screen and call us immediately if you want to join the conversation. Or rather, you can also go on Facebook and drop your opinion there so we talk. Have you ever had any challenge whatsoever? Maybe as a widow, you lost someone and your family member, maybe from the other part of the family, are coming for you. Okay, this is where we talk about widowhood. And today is an exceptional one because we're talking about societal expectation and stigma that comes with it. Is there even stigma? Should there even be? That's mine. Should they even be? That's the question I want to ask. Should they even be? Somebody is grieving, and then you're you're pushing this person away. You don't want to have anything to do with this person. Is this supposed to be like that? That is my question. And of course, I'm moving straight to my second question to you again, Mrs. Uju, before I come to Mr. Francis. In many communities, widows are expected to grieve in a certain way or for a specific period. How did you how did those expectations affect your healing journey? You know, you
Expectations,
just said,
yeah, for the period of time and how you are expected to come. Like I said earlier, there is no format or timeline to grieving. Most times, people expect you to like, I don't know, to appear like a bad person for them to understand that you're grieving. You understand? People expect you to just lose yourself entirely. But you grieve inside your heart, and then like okay, they used to grieve for 1 year. That's the timeline before you remove your mourning clothes, or later 6 months. Some people now even do 3 months. You understand? But all those things are just formality. Some you mourn your husband or your wife for the rest of your life.
your life.
So there is no, I don't know why people should have an expectation on how
one should
how you
mourn
mourn and
their
how
loved
long
one.
you mourn and how you mourn. You are not in that person's heart. I've heard somebody say, a relative of my husband said something, hey, inagakwani need to get better sometime. I was like, this woman doesn't live with me. You don't live in that compound. You don't know how often. Or even if I now told the person that what you're seeing is the physical grave. The,
Mm,
the
the
grave is
main
here.
grave is in the
So,
heart.
so I don't know why it's your business how many times I go to that grave to pray, and why will I even answer that? So people should understand that these things are personal.
Yeah.
These things are personal, and you don't expect people to like grieve the way you expect them to grieve. And because they're not doing it, that means that person maybe they're enjoying the husband's death or any. I don't understand why people should know if I'm grieving, if I'm crying at night, if I'm fasting, you
If
understand,
I should carry you
if I
along
should
in my
carry you
day-to-day
along my
activity.
yes. The only thing you owe the person is to like support the person spiritually, morally, anyhow you can support, but not to tear the person apart. I've seen a lady that lost the husband, very young lady that lost the husband. That was even before I became I became widowed, and that one scared me. This lady, but she was a nursing mother. Her second child, her first son and second child, the husband died. And if you see what this family did to this girl, in fact, the night of the wake, they chased the mom away from the compound. The family already labeled that killed the husband because they have a property they're targeting. So they chased the woman away from the compound, kept her in one dark room with this old lantern. This old women will come and ask her, what happened to your husband? They would like drag her and all that. That experience scared me. You understand? I prayed that me and my husband will grow old. It didn't happen. But like I said, it depends on the family. Then the next day, the husband is a Christian, she's a Christian, but they buried the man in a traditional way. Masquerade were running around the girl. And they're saying that after that ritual, if the woman not died, that means she did not kill the husband. So such things can be very traumatic.
Very.
And even when the woman is crying or not crying, that scene she will never forget.
It's always
and
be
that will be with her for a very long, long time. So the next day, during the burial, people like her friends that came just thought of a way to, because that girl might not survive it. Thought of a way to let her leave that village because one, your mom is not staying with you, none of your relation, just those women and the family, and even people that you were rapporting with very well before
all
that
of
time.
a sudden they turn their back on you.
You'll be surprised what's happening. So one person just whispered to her that immediately they just bury your husband and close the grave. Just pretend that you fainted. That was her doing. Now her fainting. And then and they rushed and packed her to the hospital. That was how she left the burial ground. Everything, she didn't come back. But these people were ready to deal with.
To deal with her, they
So
were ready
how will
to
you
even
tell
take her life.
somebody, keep somebody in a room and ask her, oh yeah, bakwa, obecha style with the woman, the next person, so bakwa. So you now be changing tone and styles of crying. So these things are not even. I think people don't need to have an understanding of what people go through when they lose somebody. You understand? It's not even just widows. When you lose a child, when you lose a sibling or anything, but we are talking about widow. People should, if you don't even know what to say, better shut up than making the condition worse for the person.
Don't know what this person is dealing with. Don't know the trauma that comes out of it. Okay, a lot of stories are just coming in, and things are really, 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 really happening, and things are happening. You know, somehow when my dad died, I don't know. That was why I asked that part of, is there a particular way people should behave or what society is supposed to do when they are mourning? You know, when my father died, one time, one of my auntie called my mom and said she will come to the village. and they will scrape her hair. They will take her to the river. There's a river in my village. They will take her to the river and scrape her hair. That's where they will stay and scrape the hair, then remove the white garment, white
Okay,
dress she
after
was
the
after the
morning
morning.
period.
Remove the white dress that she was wearing, then burn it, and then pour the whatever inside. So when my mother called me, I was then when she called and said, "Look at what's going on." Say you're not burying my
Especially
father.
when you feel you're not in safe hands.
Exactly.
But there are traditions. If you understand that tradition and you have nothing against the tradition even before then, and you know you're in safe hands with those people. Me, I don't say anything bad with if it's what you believe in. But if it's what is being forced
On you.
just because they want to prove a point or just they want, because in that process, why would somebody take me to a river? Do I be
My father was buried
in
in
a
a
church?
Christian way.
So if I
My
want to,
mom
I'll
is
go.
a Christian, like Christian to the core.
Yeah.
So I think that was even why she made mention of going to the river, that they told her to come to the river. That's what I told her. I said, tell them you can't.
They
go
don't
there.
mean
That wasn't how my father was buried. He wasn't buried in a traditional way.
Yes.
So let's stick to what we know. When you remove the dress, you want us to burn it in our compound in the village, we can go to the village and burn it. And then we'll go to church for Thanksgiving. Should there be any other reason? So after everything, we sorted that out. And I think that's the major problem we have, where family and friends will be dragging you. Why not come and do this one? Upon going there, you will not get something that you didn't even bargain for. So I think we should be more careful, especially if you're not the one grieving. We should be more careful how we deal with people who are. The stigma, I'm still asking that question. Should they even be stigma in the first place? Should there even be expectation, societal expectation? Would you tell me, or are you supposed to be in a position to tell me how to mourn my loved one? You know, I think we need to do better when it comes to society. We need to do better. Okay, I'm going to the perspective of the organization. So I'm coming to the organization before I move to Mrs. Uju again. From your work now, Mr. Francis, from your work with widows, what are some of the common challenges they face in dealing with societal expectations and stigma?
So good of it. I must tell you, very big. Me, when I was small, but like this thing, you know, if you look at it very, very, I must tell you, it's been done by their fellow women. Been done by their fellow women, because when they tell you that Umuada is coming to Umuadawood, those some of them are married to their husband. Some of them, their husband are dead, but some of those things that were not done to them their own time. So these women, these widows, face a lot of. Some of them are being called witchcraft.
Witches and wizards.
Call them so many things. But the thing is this. The only thing I will say, society, like what we have done so far, or what we that make sure that all these when widows that are passing through the not remain. So they go a long way to make these men. When you know who you are and know what you do, you know, they make them see themselves as nothing. You know, when you go to the village, they will drag you, they will pour you ash, they will do this. Begin to look at yourself again. It comes with a lot of sometimes said people begin to expect you not to go out, to go inside and start. Not. Okay, if your husband died, you not go out to eat again.
You not take care of
Okay,
the kids.
look at what Madam Uju said, that the husband died and they cut her light, and she's the only one in the house. She will not talk about the lighting.
You just allow them to carry the cable and go. Exactly.
Okay, in that process, that man called him that man told her that she's the one that killed the husband. Look at what she said. She said when she got to bed crying.
But at least I didn't cry before him.
Yes, exactly. You maintain steez
Crying.
you were composed at some point.
Crying makes her you allow that word make her remind. You are now
Remember
reminding her, reminding her the husband's dead.
yes.
You understand? So what we do, bring them close, tell them who you are. So you don't supposed to keep mourning.
Okay, thank you so much. And somebody is following us on Facebook, Kingsley Okoye. He said, grief has no set style or pattern. This is someone mourning their spouse. For heaven's sake, only they truly understand the depth of what they are going through. One shouldn't be judged or criticized just because their way of mourning doesn't fit societal expectations. And this is what we're talking about. Okay, so ladies, before falling in love, please take time to learn about the customs and cultures of where you are going. It's very, very important.
Very important.
Be sure it's something you can do, because some villages, some villages might tell you that this is not how it's done here. Where you are coming from is not like that. So be sure that before love is taking you, or before love carry you, they go. Make you know the tradition of where love carry you.
Sometimes it's not tradition.
It's family most.
It's family, okay?
Sometimes it's like she said, it's family. Like in Ogidi, one I know very, very well, in Anambra State. If your husband died, you are there on your when your husband is being lying, your husband is being lying, they will bring you to come and see your husband. And after that, there is a place you will sit, and your fellow Unyemudi surrounding you. The only thing that they will put barricade where you sit. Nobody comes to where
there.
you are.
Okay.
You will sit there with other people. But where the issue comes is when you are having issues with your husband. You understand? If you guys are having issues and the man dies, that is where the mother steps in.
Yeah.
And they begin to do all manner of things. And all those things they are doing is what they want to do and not what the tradition say they should.
Oh, I see.
You understand? But if you are in good terms with your husband, let me tell you, when you are maltreating your husband, people, just like those days when we are in school, they say, where they cry, they see.
Exactly.
You understand?
Kamoto.
When what they cook in the night becomes problem, people around will know what you people cook in your house. So when the man goes out, begin to relate with and begin to talk, they don't know the people that are hearing it. At a time, they will begin to use it to make.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So when people hear it, and that they will be waiting for you. Let that man. Even some people will tell you if that man die.
If you say the Nketobia
Wine will tell you. And another thing is this: men should learn how to. So sometimes men don't, but some of them that talk, so they tell their sisters, they will begin to talk when they stay with more than them cause. What will come and tell you? One name won't care make a town. What are we making?
So what do you expect the men to talk about? To tell their sisters or tell family?
Not to tell them.
Okay, when the wife is maltreating them, they should just keep quiet.
Not keep
quiet.
quiet.
Men cry
there are many ways to deal with some of those things.
Okay.
You can take your wife to their house. Their people will be the main people to deal with her very, very well. But your family they can't beat her. They can't do anything. They will be waiting for her when Maggie. You understand?
Apart from I quite agree that some women can be very.
They can be a handful.
Sometimes they are even the one doing the domestic violence, but you will not know.
Yeah.
On the background.
On the background, silent.
And it seems like their own is even.
But I also want to say that most of these things are out of envy. There are women that are married in a family. Those people, they will see you. They naturally don't like your steez. They naturally don't like you. Maybe, doctor. So they don't have access to you. And maybe the husband was even overprotective of you. So it's not even about you maltreated your husband. They are waiting for you. They are waiting for you. That's why I said everything falls back to the family. You understand? They will have reason to. Apart from your husband dying, there is no other time they will have access to you. To like some people will just see you and don't like you.
They
Maybe
will just not like you. Just
no
marry you into
matter
that
how
family, they
you,
don't like
no
you.
It
matter
happens.
maybe there are some people that you're even training their children, but they will say, no, no lecture. Maybe now or feeling now, you understand? People are just
After all,
naturally
you go 1
bad.
year, okay.
So people are waiting for you for something to happen to you. There are people that you will be sponsoring, but they are low-key your enemy. So they want to see you cry. They've never seen you broken. That's the only opportunity of seeing you broken, and they want to break you to pieces. So sometimes it's just about envy and that family that I talked about. Because if the family will say, no, this is not happening, I'm stepping in for my sister-in-law, I'm stepping in for this person, that this should not happen, it won't happen. But once some of them will just step aside and allow them to deal with it, because that's what they want.
Okay, Mr. Francis, you have answered very well. The question was of the challenges since you started working with a lot of. But sometimes I begin. That's all. I've heard stories. I've seen things also. I think I've that attended or someone told. Or one came to the station and was crying. So I said she was still putting on her. Yes, the whites. She came to the office, so she was crying. I said, "What could be the problem?" She said she wants to see one of my that her husband is of us. I think they just buried the man, something. But their uncle or the husband's elder brother started dragging land the husband. And now the property of the land, like the landed property, the document is with the woman. So she said she has been getting threats. The man said, I'm going to eliminate you, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. She said, my husband buried him months ago and I don't have anybody. So she now came to the man because normally, yes, the man speaks. The man came to the so that the man help her. So when I saw all this thing, she was crying in the office. I said, why would people be
Desperate.
this desperate? This man just died. The land we are talking about is not even in your name. You're now dragging the land that you want to build something. In fact, he has started building something on the land, and the woman said, can't be, just like what you said, you stopped the man from taking that wire. That was just the woman's crime. I don't want you building on this land. This is my husband, my late husband's land, and that is what we have left. So I wouldn't want you to build on the land. And the man started firing her, fire and brimstone, calling on people. Of course, now he's
that kind of person will now engineer the community to
exactly. So in this case now, you see that the either the Umada or the village people will now come after an innocent woman because she's trying to protect what is hers.
If the man is a well-known man and he helps in the community, that is when the community. If he's a bad man and they know he's a bad man in the community, they will not listen.
So most of these people, they
you
buy
have not
people's
seen
hearts.
people. Okay, like now you said, sometimes they feed lies to the mother or anybody that cares to listen. And because the story is coming from a family member,
the family member,
they don't have
they
don't have the time to verify. Because exactly. I know a friend that just like 3 years ago or thereabout that lost the husband. The husband had cancer. He was sick for a long time. And the woman stopped everything she was doing. Her job was affected. Her school was affected. School that she owns as a proprietor was affected. Everything, and was taking care of this. And the family were there. None of them said. The woman at the point she was selling properties to attend to this to the husband. And finally the man died. And it's always the eve of the burial that they will bring out the first show.
They will not bring out the...
Yes, so they also gathered in one room and called this woman and said, the woman said, because that time she will cry every other night and will be calling me. I will talk to her. That you are the only person these children are seeing. If you break that, it will be worse for you. But that night, she couldn't bear it. She said, they were like, how can you be asking me what killed? And the woman that was there, like, they already they fed them with lies, and the target was properties. You understand? Yeah. The one that is remaining, you don't even know how many they have sold.
They've sold,
but you know they were properties. So, the woman was like, "Imara have cancer. Cancer killed your brother." So even the woman that didn't have the details, the woman was courageous enough to break down the story and told them that this man has been bedridden for so and so time and all that. At the end of the day, the woman that turned against those people. Because sometimes they will feed them with lies, and you understand.
And then allow them to not go and fight an innocent
but if you
person.
if you don't have your voice, that lies will swallow you. But if you have voice, if you speak up, and these people, you are able to convince one or two people around, they will start seeing reasons with you. Because she was like, "Don't you know what is called cancer? Let me tell you what killed your brother." She brought out receipts. She brought out. Go and ask the children. They will know. Even if I lie, the children will know. How can you be asking me? Say, how much have you contributed to your brother's illness, all this one and all that? And everybody cleared. And he blackmailed one that I know your case in the police, that I will go and dust that file.
So we'll start all over again.
And start all over
that
again.
We'll just
and everybody
move
took
back.
victory. So sometimes that whatever condition you find yourself, don't lose your voice. Because if you lose that voice at that point, before you regain it,
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. And I think I need to move to this next question I have here. And of course, it's coming to you, Mrs. Uju. Have you ever felt pressure to dress, act, or live differently simply because you are a widow? How did you respond to that pressure? Because Mrs. Uju is one person that you can, like I said, you can't be caught on fresh or they're not possible. You're always looking peng. You always.
There could be an issue.
Okay. Mba. Man, I'm getting now for like anytime I see her, you can't see her not looking amazing. I mean, the very first day she walked into the studio when I was talking, and I thought she was just somebody, an advocate, somebody that is advocating for widows. And now when they now told me that I said, not true. She doesn't look anything like that. And I think our widows these days are too.
This is the question again.
So the question is, have you ever been pressured? Have you ever felt pressured to dress, act, or live differently simply because you're a widow? How did you respond to the pressure?
I would rather say that people that expected me to be pressured are the ones that are pressured. Because I cannot, because of, you understand? Like I said, your husband's grave is here. Your grieving is here. Doesn't have to do with how you come out. You understand? And some people are created that even if you're wearing rag, it will look like diamond.
Exactly.
So is the comportment, is the courage that matters. I cannot reduce my steez because I want to please somebody. You understand? So when you know that, and then, but another thing is that there is still that it's still important for widows to be decent in their dressing. You understand? Once I know I'm dressing decently, maybe you feel what I'm wearing is expensive. Until you enter market and ask that, and you see your own is even more expensive, but just because I know how to package it. You understand? So I don't think I have ever felt like that. Though I've been in a gathering where maybe with some friends or acquaintances of friends, they would not say she's a widow. They would be like, you understand? So sometimes I don't know what they expect. I don't know if it's your dressing or maybe the way you're not looking like Bere, you understand? Yes, all that. I'm with no apology. I can't dress down for anybody. Sorry.
Okay, and I think this is going to all of us, some of us. If you find yourself shouldn't wear that mere kind of face. No, you shouldn't wear that mere kind of face. So not everywhere you go, people are not no. So dust yourself, like she said, so that when people ask, is Sinonia be a widow? Or when you even another person will turn and say how, because I've seen other widows. So I think that's majorly where we need to move to. Okay, we should get into not being pressured by where we act and what we wear. And also, I like what you said. Said as a widow, also you should dress decently, because I've also seen some persons in their dressing, I think they are even the ones bringing that bad name
Yeah.
that comes to them. Do you understand? They are the ones bringing that bad name because you see how the person is acting and there's nothing anybody can do about it. At that point,
Some feel that at that point they are free to do
they
whatever.
can do anything
But
at this point.
that kind of freedom doesn't even tell good of you. Doesn't even your children. You're just like bringing shame to them, because if you're dressing anyhow, well, tomorrow what if your daughter wants to marry? They will say, "Oh, mama and abort." You understand? So just dress beneath, dress decent. There is decency. There is a beauty in decency. That's what people don't know. When you dress and show everything, what will somebody see inside? Either one that will see inside first. When we not get inside, we'll start looking for it. You understand? So there is always it's always good to dress decent, but don't. Some widows would like to, if you are going out, they want to look like the whole world, the whole problem is on their head, so that they will attract help. But help doesn't come like that. It's when you come out and you look good, you smell good. Somebody can even stand. When you get better, you go where you could dash 500 naira because you look like a beggar. You don't have to look like a beggar. You will, if you have something you're doing, you'll be able to talk about that thing, engage somebody, talk about business. You understand? Somebody can support your business. Somebody can be invest in your business. But when you come out because you want people to like have pity on you and you dress down, it doesn't help. It will affect your
personality and everything. Right?
There's one English I'm looking for, but I'll find it.
Okay, when you
when I find it, I'll
let
come
me
back.
know. Okay, I have a question. It's going to be funny, but I'm still going to ask that question. In a situation whereby the spouse, maybe the late husband, wasn't treating or didn't treat the wife well. I mean, didn't treat the wife well, because I have a story of a young woman who got married. She's very young. She's still very young. I think now she should be in her 30. She just clocked 30 or something, or 29. She got married and the man started behaving very badly. But while the man was alive, they took the 2 children from her. And then the man also told her to her face that he would get married to another woman, that they don't have anything doing and all that. And she was there carrying the guy, because the guy was sick at some point, carrying the guy around, taking him from place to place. And at the end of everything, the guy died. So the woman did not, I wouldn't say, I don't know, I don't want to, because I'm not living in their house, but from afar, you could see that she really did not mourn the man like that. First, she didn't even go for the burial. So my question is, in this scenario now, this thing that happened now, would you call the lady or the woman a bad person? She didn't mourn, actually. The man died and she moved on.
Okay, is that question for me or for?
I'm asking you.
Okay.
Yes, I'm asking the question.
I will say that the woman even tried to look after the man was sick, because already you partially separated from her.
Okay.
And then took the children away from her, and she still have the mind to come and take care of. She meant well for the man. You understand? So not going for the burial is because she was afraid of her life. Maybe for her to have gotten that kind of treatment while the man was alive, what will happen to her when she gets there? When that man did not even protect her when he was alive. So what will you go there to do? And unless he has the capacity to go with security and all that, if she doesn't have the capacity, there's no point. Maybe they've also married another wife for the man, but the new wife was not there to take care of her, because the woman didn't come to carry sick person. You understand? So at that point, she has to run to live for tomorrow. You understand? Because are you going there to prove what point? If the family wanted you to be there, they will want you to be there. They will even plead with you to be there. So for her not to go, she must have her reasons. But if the coast was clear for her to go, I would have said she would have gone because of the children. But for her own safety, if she didn't go, she has her reasons, and I won't.
Because some person, just like what we're saying, society, we are still dealing on societal expectation and stigma. some persons who'd even know in Igbo language, So those people didn't know all these things. They were fighting her. You killed this man. I know that you did this one. I know that this one. So sometimes the society and their expectation can just be in a layman English, headaching, Not the headache unnecessarily. I know there's no English like that, but it can actually be very headaching, So I think we need to do better as a society. And so I'm coming to you, Mr. Francis, because we're coming very close to calling it a day. How does your foundation support widows in overcoming societal judgment and negative labels? When it comes to negative labels, societal judgment, okay, how does your foundation support widows?
Okay.
What do they tell them?
Because these women pass a lot, and when somebody is passing through a lot, sometimes, like she said, you don't see somebody person's face. Some of them package them, and they come out, you don't see. So what we normally do is to provide a safe space where you can allow the person to say out, to tell you the story of how
what happened.
And some of them, in the process of you see that person broke down and start crying. But you provide that space so that the person will know it's a safe place. You can just open up. Like my mama will always say, she will say, wake us ready. So when you open up, you see the person, you make that person to understand that now, here, nobody is judging you.
Nobody is going to judge you for anything
you're going to say or using it to do anything, just to know where to start. And some of them that have taken their documentation, I will tell them, say it the way it happened, so that write it the way it is and put it in your file, in case of anything. So you find out that when they say their story without fear and knowing that nobody is going to judge them, then they will move on with their life. Another thing is that we have a supportive thing we do that the foundation does to help them in rebuilding themselves. Some of them have business, but you find out that when the man dies, and the days they are going to start doing anything, the funds
might not be there.
It will not be there again. Yes, to help them raise funds for them to start all over again. And then you still tell them, like Mama will always say, he will say, don't look tattered. Even if you are abacha, and she will always tell you, anytime you are coming around, ofuga around. Like if they have any program, she will always say it. Lipstick. I have lipstick in my and powder. I tell you understand? You will see them when they come out like this, you will not believe that they are widows. You understand? So all these things is what the foundation does. And also, there is this book written by yes,
okay,
that is called Widowhood Redefined. It's a step-by-step guide for a widow. You will know how to, come out of what you had. Because those days in school they say you don't enter.
Don't enter.
Come out, no days again. So once you have entered, the next thing is to know how to come out of. And you need some of them that doesn't have what it takes to come out of it will not know how to go about it. But if you go through this book, it will help you to come out. Another thing is that we help them in once they enter police, like what she said.
Once it involves police. Okay.
The foundation is there to help you out. If it is in police, we have pro bono lawyers that come. If it is in a court, we have lawyers
who are going to stand by you.
Stand by you. You understand? So that is all the things to make sure that
support is being given to them. Okay, thank you so much for that. And of course, if you are, we already know what to do and how to go about it. Just like I said, I become fresh. It has happened, it has happened. Just like Madam Muju said, that the main grave is here, your heart, not where the person is buried. So whether going there to pray or not, just know that it's here and you need to move on. There's a particular lady I follow on social media. So I think her name is Sophia. She lost her husband very young, and she has one child that is not um okay, very sound. You know, the way she comes out and I mean the way she does her thing on social media, people are following her. You now see people sharing their stories. This
Yeah.
is how my husband died 4 years after and all that. When you go on social media and see young people talking about, I was in the relationship for 4 years and then my husband died and all that. Thank you for helping me find my path and all. So if you are into this kind of a thing, there are foundations, especially Healing Heart is here to help you, to guide you. Judgmental, we're not. They don't judge you. The negative label, you don't get it here. The only thing they do is to push you and also let you know that you can still bounce back and be what and who you want to be. Okay, how do you raise awareness about the stigma widows face in society? Is there a particular way? I'm still coming to you, Mr. Francis.
Yeah.
Is there a particular way you people raise awareness on stigmatization or stigmatization when it comes to widows?
Okay.
Okay, the things they face, is there a way you people do it in the society?
There is no other way than like this one we are doing now
Okay, just
through
telling people.
television and radio station programs like this. And another thing is platforms where we educate them on their rights.
Okay,
Like the other time we had, was it last month? We had International Widows Day. Widows all over all over Nigeria came,
okay.
and we have people that came and spoke to them, tell them all they're supposed to know. You understand?
Yeah.
They have a prayer. They have a platform. They call Blessed Widows. Like we have it in Enugu, Abuja, Lagos. They pray there and give them counsel on what you're supposed to know and or what not. And then they share their experiences and receive encouragement from one another. Maybe somebody might be passing through this. There is another person in your midst that might pass through that. Maybe you are in it. Somebody that passed through, he will tell you, and do it like this.
Exactly.
When I was there, look at how I did it. Look at how, you understand. You will borrow from there and you pick yourself, start running.
Okay, don't forget that you can still call us on the number that is displayed on the screen, which is 0810-6859-752. You can call that number or you drop your own opinion because you know that's what we need at this point. Tell us, maybe share a little of your experience. You can follow us right now on Facebook at Gopadtv and also on YouTube, Gopad_TV, where you can follow us. The link is there. So you follow us and tell us what you have encountered on what it is. I'm going to come to you, Mrs. with my last question now, which is, what advice would you give to other widows who are struggling to accept their identity and make personal choices in the face of cultural and religious expectation?
Like I said before, my advice will always be not to self process of not to voice. Like the lady shared her story now. If she had lost her voice, not be there on social acting other people. Then, and when you talk about choices, don't allow people to do into what you cannot do. And so I remember when I lost my husband, I was relocating back to, and family member felt I should go into teaching. So I'll have time for this. And even if you're paying me 1 million every, I can't take. I will not even. I don't have the flair for it, but people will want to advise you. You understand?
Advice
even with what they cannot do.
Exactly.
They feel they know you better. Nobody knows me than me. You understand? I know what I can do. I know what I have passion for. And when you don't go that route, they will feel you're disobedient.
Exactly.
But you stand on what you believe and your choices and maintain who you are. At the long run, they will come back and say, I do. Thank God you thank God you did that.
Exactly.
You understand? Because if you had tried those ones they suggested to you and failed, I got Kurugo again now. Time cry. You understand? They will still be the one to say, and what I'm called in my now meter. So always find yourself. Don't ever lose yourself.
Yeah.
You are Choma, you are Uju, you are Oze before you are weak. Remember what makes you you and keep on doing you. Except that you is not good enough that you want to change. You understand? Except that good, and always pick up your problem, like Mr. Francis said. There are platforms that you can seek help. You can ask for people that will help you grieve, go through that grief. You can ask for help in professional helps in any way you need help. Don't do it yourself. Don't just stay inside and mourn forever. So come out, join communities of your likes that you learn more and then be strong for yourself.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Uju, for that wonderful one. And of course, thank you very much, Mr. Francis, for giving us what the foundation is doing, for telling us what the foundation is doing and how they are doing it. You know, before we started, I talked about things that people expect you to do. I think I'm going to run through some of those things and we'll call it a day, which is societal expectation of widows. Society often imposes specific roles or behaviors on widows, particularly women, including grief performances, expecting widows to grieve in specific ways. Examples, staying solemn for a set period or dressing in a certain way. Longevity of mourning. In some cultures, widows are expected to remain in mourning indefinitely, avoiding makeup, jewelry, or social media. Then celibacy or not remarrying. Widows, especially women, may be discouraged or even forbidden from remarrying, while widows face less restriction. Why widowers face less restriction. You know, I mentioned that when we were still talking that excuse me, what you will hear is, you know, you're a man and somebody needs to take care of the children.
They don't even need to tell you.
Exactly.
They already know that
you're a man. You know, some people
it's
is
not
1
their
year.
problem. It's God that made it that way.
Okay, God made it that way. Yeah, all them. So yes, especially when it comes to widows, and then caretaker identity. Widows may be expected to focus solemnly on family, especially children or grandchildren, rather than pursuing personal goals. These are the things we're expected, as in what society expects from widows. You know, and then when it comes to the stigmatization, which we talked about, blame and suspicion, social exclusion, and of course, economic vulnerability, sexual suspension, and all of those things, gender disparities, okay, where widows are usually given more societal freedom than widows. So if you find yourself in this aspect as a widow, and then widows are more often judged harshly when it comes to these aspects. So if you find yourself in this way, I think what you need to do is all the things that we have said and discussed in this section. I really enjoyed today's discussion because it's more like a real life something. This is what we see on our day-to-day activity on daily basis. Civilization or no civilization, you still see people doing this.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, civilization is, you know, when some persons even speak, you ask yourself, maybe this person saw the four wall of a school.
But last time we had the radio program, the Bolt FM,
Okay.
right? So we had a calling program like this, and one man called and said, that he saw that he noticed that the people that, because Mama and I were there, we were quoting law, we were doing all that. He said that people that are here now baka haka, because it was an Igbo program. Not the Garakoko. And it's like we are celebrating widowhood. That we should teach the married women how to treat their husbands too. And I was like, how does that relate to what
we are saying?
it still boils down to the man. You don't treat your wife well. When you die, you'll be celebrated instead of being mourned.
Being mourned, exactly.
And I also want to touch that part you said about marrying. It's very okay. It's very normal for you to marry instead of you to. But most times they will not advise you to. So you be a community. You will, you understand? But if you don't want to be and food for all, and you want to live your life well, if you find love again, fine. If you don't, and you know you can package yourself and bring your children, that's fine. I see nothing wrong, especially with very young people. So for how long would you expect them? And society will always judge them wrong because they want to remarry. It's as if there's no wrong. For how long? You understand? It's even better you remarry and give a name yourself and give yourself respect than you are just there doing what do you call it? Doing, let me not say.
Okay, before I leave you again, I'm going to point out challenging the stigma. Now we need to challenge the stigma. So if you don't want to be there, there are certain things you need to do, and I think one of them is education and advocacy. Like she said, your voice must be heard. You mustn't keep it away. Let your voice be heard. Education and advocacy, support groups and networks like Healing Heart, and also legal reforms, representation in media. Those are the things we need to do. Okay, and I believe that we have been able to convince you and not to confuse you at this point that you don't need societal go ahead for you to live your life and all that. And also, our society should do better when it comes to being a widow or being widowed. Okay, let's do better. And then I'm going to do a special shout out to the most active participant in today's podcast, which is Kingsley Okoye. Kingsley, you have been dishing out beautiful things, and I know Kingsley in person. Kingsley is this guy that is very, 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 very on my phone, man, you know. So Kingsley, thank you so much for being a part of today's show, and we have seen all the things coming from you, all the beautiful things coming from you. We appreciate you, and of course, we know we're going to do this again next month. And Golden is here also. The vessel Ozioma Golden is also here, dishing it out immediately. You know, you don't need to look like Wasirike and better kind of a person, you know, because of what society is dishing out to you. So this is where we're going to draw the curtain for the day. This is where we're going to call it a day for today on today's podcast on Smiling Through Widowhood, which we dealt on dealing with societal expectation and stigma. I am Maki, Makky, and today I have the privilege of having Mrs. Uju in my studio today. Thank you so much. It's all right. And of course, Mr. Francis is here with me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Francis. And yes, special shout out also to all the cast and crew, you know, and Mama Anyi. That one, we can't do this program without mentioning Mama. Mama with full steez and composure. Mama with a lot of package. You need to meet her in person. You know, and special shout out to Gopadtv. If you're not following Gopadtv on Facebook, on Instagram, TikTok, and all our handles, then you are making a huge mistake, because this will be coming your way every other month. I remain your host for today. So for now, have a nice day. Bye.
Bye.